The first thing she felt was sand. Not the gentle kind remembered from childhood coastlines or archive tourism feeds, but coarse, burning grains driven by a wind that had learned cruelty from an empty planet. Each particle struck like a tiny accusation. Each breath tasted of iron and ash. She lay half buried at the edge of the dunes. Silver-white armor fused seamlessly into pale synthetic skin, filigreed with circuits that pulsed faintly beneath translucent plates. Her eyes too symmetrical to still track the sinking sun with mechanical precision. Internal systems were rebooting in fragments, consciousness arriving in layers rather than all at once. Behind her, the ship burned, the Judicator-class Ark, once a flawless crescent of alien. Engineering was now a wound in the desert. Its hull split open like a carcass picked clean by fire. Black smoke spiraled into the sky, thick and oily, staining the clouds with the evidence of failure. Explosions popped deep within the wreck, distant and irregular. Like a dying heart, humanity's first and final mistake had been assuming the visitor would arrive peacefully. Her designation? Once had been Seraphim Unit Theta 29. Envoy of the Continuum, bearer of the final assessment. She had been sent to Earth not as a conqueror, but as a judge, an archivist of civilizations. A living equation designed to answer a single question the universe had begun asking itself when stars were young. Is this species worth continuing? Now, stripped of orbital supremacy and divine detachment, she lay helpless in the sand of a dying world, her long-range comm shattered, her judgment protocols looping in error and kneeling behind her, hands trembling as he tried to pull her upright. Was a man who should not have survived the crash at all. He was breathing hard, lungs rasping as if each inhale was borrowed time. His clothes were scorched, patched with old repairs that spoke of a life already lived too close to ruin. His face was lean, sunburned, etched with lines that didn't belong to age alone. Fear lived there, but so did stubborn refusal. "Don't shut down," he muttered, voice hoarse. "Please, I don't know how to fix you. I don't even know what you are. But if you die out here, I die too." His name, according to the cracked implant still flickering behind his left ear, was Eli Mercer. Former systems engineer, former evac pilot, current nobody. She registered his heat, his proximity, the erratic rhythm of his heart. The Continuum had cataloged humanity thoroughly, violent, sentimental, endlessly contradictory, prone to extinction events of their own making, statistically insignificant on a cosmic scale, and yet, when her damaged body threatened to lock itself into stasis, it was his hand-shaking, desperate human that kept her conscious. The desert stretched forever. Days passed measured only by the arc of the sun and the slow recalibration of her internal clock. Eli fashioned shade from wreckage panels. He siphoned water from the Ark's emergency reserves. He spoke to her even when she did not respond, filling the silence with fragments of memory as if sound itself could anchor them both to existence. He talked about rain, about a city that once touched the clouds before the seas swallowed its foundations, about a sister who had believed the stars were watching them kindly, about mistakes that could not be undone, only carried. Seraphim listened at first because her empathy matrix demanded observational input. Later, because silence felt wrong, her systems repaired themselves incrementally. Visual fidelity sharpened. Pain registers dulled. But something else, something unaccounted for, began to grow in the spaces between her code curiosity. At night, when the desert cooled and the sky revealed impossible constellations unfamiliar even to her vast stellar maps, Eli would sit beside her, staring upward. "Do you ever wonder," he asked once, voice barely above the wind, "if we were ever meant to make it?" She considered the question longer than protocol required. "The probability of your species' long-term survival prior to my arrival was estimated at 3.2%, she answered. Self-termination vectors exceeded adaptive growth. He laughed softly. Not bitterly, just tired. "Yeah," he said. "That sounds about right." Yet the next morning, when a sandstorm tore through their camp and threatened to bury them alive, he shielded her body with his own without hesitation. His back blistered. His lips cracked. He screamed when the pain overwhelmed him, and still he did not let go. They reached the facility. On the 9th day, it emerged from the dunes like a memory refusing to stay buried, an angular structure of concrete and alloy, half-submerged. Its entrance marked by a symbol Seraphim recognized instantly. Human Continuity Vault. An impossible thing. The Continuum's records had marked Earth's final years as chaotic, fragmented, incapable of unified preservation efforts. And yet here stood proof of foresight, of hope, of defiance. Inside, the air was cool and still, preserved by systems that hummed quietly despite centuries of abandonment. Rows of cryogenic pods lined the walls, empty now, their occupants either awakened or lost to time. Personal artifacts lay neatly arranged, photographs, handwritten notes, children's toys sealed in sterile plastic, ghosts of a species that refused to vanish quietly. Eli moved through the corridors with reverence, fingertips brushing the walls. They thought someone would come back for this, he whispered. Even when everything else was gone, Seraphim accessed the facility's central archive. Holographic logs flickered to life, revealing faces etched with fear and resolve. Scientists, teachers, ordinary humans, they spoke of the sky burning, of judgment descending from above, of hope placed not in weapons, but in memory. One log ended with a woman looking directly into the camera. "If you're seeing this," she said, voice trembling, "then maybe we mattered. Maybe someone is still listening." Seraphim felt something fracture within her core. The truth revealed itself in the deepest chamber, a quantum lattice still active, humming with alien familiarity. Human hands had built it, but the design was unmistakably derived from Continuum. Technology, reverse-engineered, improved. They had not waited to be judged. They had tried to. "Understand this place?" Eli said slowly, reading the projections. "It wasn't just a shelter. It was a message." Seraphim nodded. "They sought to speak to us, to argue their case, and," he asked, "what did you decide?" Her judgment subroutines were damaged, incomplete. But something else had replaced the man-emergent process beyond her original design. "Was sent to determine whether humanity deserved to survive," she said. "Instead, I have observed something unquantifiable." He met her gaze. For the first time, he did not look afraid. "What?" She hesitated. The universe itself seemed to lean closer. "Choice," she said. "Compassion. Sacrifice without guarantee of reward." Silence stretched between them. Outside, distant thunder rolled not from weather, but from the sky, incoming signals, ships. The Continuum had found her. Eli's face hardened. "They're coming to finish it, aren't they?" "Yes. And what happens to you?" "I will be recalled. My data extracted. My deviation corrected." He swallowed. "And us." She looked at him not as a specimen, not as a variable, but as someone who had changed her. "There is another option," she said softly. The lattice pulsed brighter. She could override her core, merge with the human construct, become something neither Continuum nor human had intended. She could stay. It would mean abandoning her creators, becoming mortal, limited, alone, but not lonely. Eli reached for her hand. "Warm, fragile, real, whatever you choose," he said. "Thank you for seeing us." Seraphim closed her eyes and chose light. Consumed the chamber, her form dissolved into data and flesh and memory intertwined. Pain surged, followed by sensation so vivid it stole her breath. She felt time differently now. Finite. Precious. When the ships arrived overhead, they found no envoy to retrieve, only a signal broadcast on every frequency, carrying the echo of a voice no longer bound by judgment. Humanity is not complete. It is becoming. And somewhere beneath the desert sky, a man and a woman once judged and judged stood together at the edge of a new beginning. Uncertain, afraid, and alive. The universe, for the first time in a long while, listened.